Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between LiquidTLO and Huck here on Metalopolis. Here we have Huck spawning as the green Protoss player over here at the 8 o'clock position. Meanwhile, over here at the what I'll call the 6 o'clock position, we're going to have LiquidTLO spawning as the blue Zerg. Recently, I've been doing a lot of Terran matchups, and I thought I should start focusing more on the Zerg and the Protoss matchups. Also, I'm in negotiations with a potential sponsor who wants to buy some tutorial time and then perhaps give it out. So be on the lookout for that. I'll go ahead and let you guys know all about that as it comes up. And really excited to just see more of your guys' replays, as I am currently not playing StarCraft 2, just doing shoutcasting in this final week of StarCraft, the StarCraft beta. Now, one of the things that I wanted to just note is TLO did the double extractor trick, where he puts down 2 drones, and while those 2 drones are turned into extractor, they take away from the food count. So his food count went to 8/10 for a moment. Right after it went to 8/10, he produces 2 drones very quickly. That's what the extractor trick is, and that's how he was upside down on food so early in the game. Now finally producing an overlord, so that spawning pool that was being placed down is much earlier than normal, and he may be going for another extractor trick. No, he shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I guess he is doing another extractor trick, even though the overlord, he canceled the overlord. So no, there's that overlord. There we go. So now it makes a little bit more sense. And now that spawning pool is nearing completion, and now Huck is going to be forced to deal with a lot of Zerglings in his base in just a moment. However, I do not see that many larvae. Currently seen on 2 larvae. If he gets up to 3 larvae right at the time of that spawning pool, that is just going to prove to me that this is exactly what that build is for. So yeah, going for the extra larva, and now I may try to go for an additional Zergling. Taking a look at the production wise, producing 2 Zerglings and a queen, so not going for any heavy rush. Back in the base of Huck, we currently have 1 gateway down, 2 pylons down, and we should be seeing the cybernetics core come in momentarily, or perhaps even a second gateway, but I gotta assume it's gonna be a cybernetics core. Yeah, Huck dropping that cybernetics core. A little curious about this front door. I think 1 zealot can sit off in this position and hold off this gateway, or hold off this choke point fairly easily. So Zerglings are going to have a very difficult time trying to do a run by here. And now that zealot will be out in just the right amount of time. It looks like that zealot has just popped in, and with that overlord in the air, those Zerglings realize that they cannot really take that position. Gonna go ahead and capture the Zelnaga watchtower instead. TLO now setting up a fast expansion, or taking his natural expansion over here at the what I'll call the 5 o'clock position, and now Zerglings perhaps going to try to do a little bit more of a test, and well, those zealots are now pushing back around, and those Zerglings, I guess they could have tried to take down this one single pylon, but this pylon, and those zealots may have tried to engage anyway. So Zergling now capturing both of these Zelnaga watchtowers, most likely going to be walking over here, and now Zergling now moving away as those zealots are going to be coming in. Production wise, we should be seeing more Zerglings being produced. Yeah, 4 Zerglings being produced, and now 2 queens. So TLO getting 2 queens, and also getting an early creep tumor. So that early creep tumor will enable those queens to walk down and perhaps do a little bit more of an early engagement. So yeah, well, how did that work out? That was the spawn creep tumor there, and zealots quickly coming in, taking that down. So now another creep tumor coming in. Zerglings may be able to get a surround on these units, and those zealots unable to escape. So nicely done. 1 zealot gonna get taken down, a 2nd zealot losing 2 of his hit points as more Zerglings are being produced. And a 3rd queen now being produced. So a lot of Zerg players now get 1 additional queen per hatchery, just because it is that much stronger. Creep tumors are going to be very strong. You can already see TLO spreading around with these creep tumors across the map. We should also be seeing, the metabolic boost now being researched. Going to take 110 units of time to go ahead and move on out. Now we're going to see another creep tumor spawn here, and because it's on this high and low ground, the creep tumor should be able to move out fairly easily. Now we have the zealots now coming, and we have an early Phoenix. So Huck going for Cybernetics Core into a Stargate with that Phoenix, and now that Phoenix moving and attacking will be able to take down that Overlord fairly easily. Pylon now being warped in. We have a 1 sentry, and those Zerglings are going to be trying to take down this Nexus. The sentry has to be careful, and nice force field usage, and now there's 2 sentries fighting at the back of a Phoenix Graviton beam one Zergling just to make sure that that Zergling gets taken down. That Zergling down to 1 hit point. Down, no, not getting taken down. Down goes another Zealot. We should see another Force Wave come in, and this may be really, really bad news. Warp Gate now being researched, another Zealot coming in. That Zealot needs to hold off a large number of Zerglings. This is going to be fairly difficult for it. No Chrono Boost on that Warp Gate. That one Zealot down to 32 hit points. And now going to go ahead and hold that position. Those 3 Zerglings trying to take down this Nexus over here will not be able to that easily, as now we're going to get some probes moving over. Probes being transferred over. Sentry perhaps going to go ahead and do a little bit of engagement, trying to take down those Zerglings. And those probes getting a nice surround, almost able to take down that last Zergling over there. And Huck now dropping a Forge. So both players able to get their expansions up and running. Queens now moving out, so 3 queens spawning triple creep tumors. I don't think that these creep tumors will really help with the movement speed that much. We do have Zerglings with wings and another graviton beam doing a last ditch effort trying to take down all of these Zerglings. And now probes being moving back away, or moving away. We have a phase prism now being built at this robotics facility, and nice fighting back and forth. A lot of these probes just fighting here, and this is not looking good. These sentries, those probes acting as a little bit of a wall, and now, oh no, nice double wall in here. So those probes are getting a little bit caught, and now queens coming in, and TLO and moving in, even though these queens have a very slow movement speed, are able to, wow, that's gotta be a bug, or is that a range attack? I guess the claw has a range of 3, so it's able to shoot up that ramp there because those Zerglings are sitting there. So queens now moving very, very slowly. Creep tumors can continue to respawn over there. And now we have a phase prism, graviton beaming another Zergling, but still those phase prisms, that Phoenix is going to have a hard time dealing with this attack over here. Zergling's now trying to run away. 1 sentry and a lot of probes just trying to hold off this whole entire attack. Huck sitting on 29 harvesters, so still has a fairly strong economy. And now continuing to push back, and this is not looking good at all. Huck is going to be forced to say GG unless he's able to perhaps get some sort of Colossus or Immortal or some additional unit. That Immortal is now in play, but you got to remember, queens are not armored units, so those queens are not going to be taking that much damage from that Immortal. So now we have a Phoenix in the air, a single warp, one warp prism, and units still fighting. Zerglings trying to come in as well, and that phase disruptor is dealing 20 damage, so that Immortal able to 2-shot any Zergling that comes into position. 1 sentry down to 4 hit points, has to be really careful with this. Really needs to micro these units well. Queens now focusing down, able to take down that warp prism, and taking down that warp prism was absolutely huge. Now TLO using transfusion very well, and Zerglings coming in from the back, gonna be able to take down this Immortal. And wow, TLO just using this Queen Rush very, very effectively. Very inventive play, I must say. Queens now taking down this last Forge over here. No photon cannons. And that's a little bit of a surprise. Photon cannons off in this position, or even here, so it's out of the range of those queens, would be very, very beneficial. No, more probes coming off the line, more of a last-ditch attempt than anything else. Queens now coming in to try to focus down this, or take down the cybernetics core, and more units being produced. You can see all these creep tumors being moved on over, and still. And now a Warp Prism picking up a 1 probe and trying to pick up and drop down, trying to save those low hit point units. 2 queens are there. Income, or army-wise, we have 1,000 units for Huck versus TLO's 425, but those queens are not in that count. And now an Immortal now going to come in, and those Immortals may be trying to kite these queens, and that would be a very interesting strategy. Zerglin sitting over here, how is this going to work? Yeah, Immortals now coming in, and they're going to start focusing down these queens. Those queens are going to be trying to run away, and now TLO with an all-in attack to try to focus down, and now TLO is in a lot of trouble. Back over here, however, we are at tier 2 production-wise. Now Mutalisk coming in, and when those Mutalisk are coming in, Huck does not have enough Stargates in order to counteract that whole entire army. Once we see a fair number of Mutalisks, we're currently seeing on 5, once those Mutalisks start to do that engagement, the sentries no longer have that 8 attack, and now those Mutalisks coming in, I think he sees this, and Huck is forced to say GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy game with a Queen Rush into Mutalisk coming in from LiquidTLO.